now is a good time, I think, to talk about the future, because a lot's being written and talked about what the impact of this experience might be in many different regards. But I want to focus on two things. Firstly, on the sort of the human behavioral perspective, and also from an economic perspective, both of which are linked because human behavior
Sure.
shapes economies clearly. But how do you feel about the future? What are your thoughts?
Well, Max, let me just add to you said the two are connected, uh, human psychology and the economy. Actually, if you think about it, they're one and the same because what is an economy? It's a group of people who get together and interact in economic transactions. And markets, there's nothing to the market or to the economy other than people. And people make individual decisions, and their collective decisions move the market and the economy. So, the interesting question is, where are we going to be in the future? As you know, my last memo, April 14th, was entitled Knowledge of the Future. And I like oxymorons, and I think that's an oxymoron because we don't know anything about the future. We live normally by understanding the past and extrapolating it into the future, but it doesn't always apply. Um, and in this case, we've had unique events. We've had one of the greatest pandemics in history, one of the worst economies in history, the biggest stimulus package in history, the biggest price decline of oil prices in history. So if you have all these superlatives and you've never seen anything like this before, one of the things I say is if you haven't seen something before, you can't say you know how it's going to turn out. And I think that's true of where we stand today. But of course, we have to hypothesize about the future, and I'm willing to do that. I believe that when this is over, when we have testing for immunity and testing for the disease, and when we have vaccine and the vaccine works and it can prevent people from getting the disease and it prevents it from being handed on, I think things will go largely back to normal. Now, one of the characteristics of these crises that I've been through is people say, oh, life has changed forever. But one of my heroes, John Kenneth Galbraith, says that one of the outstanding characteristics of the financial markets is shortness of memory. And, people say, that's it, I'll never take risk again, I'll never go into the market again, it's just a way to lose money. When the market's been up a few years and people look around and see their friends make money, they tend to go back into the market and take risk again. Likewise, in most ways, I think our behavior will revert to what it was. Right now, it may be hard for some people to believe they'll ever get on a plane again, or stay in a hotel again, or take a cruise again, or go to a sporting event, or a concert, or a movie, and eat in a restaurant, and so forth. But they will. And, the question is how long it'll take to come back. And the game I play with myself is I think about different industries, and I say, okay, 2 years from now, April of 2022, what'll be going on, for example, in hotels? And in hotels, 2 years from now, assuming that the virus is under control and we have an effective vaccine, I think that business travel will be 90% back to where it was in 2019, and holiday travel will be 70 or 80%. Now, there'll be some people who want to be overcautious and don't go back, but I think most will. You might think that, nobody's ever going to step foot on a cruise ship again because we have the image of those cruise ships that were caught offshore and people sickening and so forth. No port would take them. But the truth is that the cruise ship companies will offer 50% off sales and free drinks, and people will go back. So I would think that in 2022, 60% of the business that was done in 19 will be done again. So in some cases, a lot, in some cases, still having an after effect. The important question would be something like office space. We're all working from home. We're getting our work done. I don't think it's as enjoyable as interacting with my colleagues, and I don't think it's quite as creative, because I think when we sit in a room together and the American term is spitball, we throw ideas back and forth. I think we create more. But on the other hand, the companies are going to see that people worked okay from home, and maybe they'll say, okay, you group over there, you come in half the week. That other group, they come in the other half of the week. So we only need half the office space. And, it may be a while before people get as sanguine about the outlook for commercial real estate. Now, when you talk about commercial real estate, you want to include retail, and retail looks like it's in a downdraft that'll never be erased. The occupancy of retail space was already in decline, and the malls were showing declining custom. And this, of course, brought it to zero. And so you have an exacerbating exogenous factor at a time of declining systemic growth, and it's going to be tough for retail real estate.
Yeah, I think that's true. There are some industries clearly that were already in decline, and one of the things that recessions and crises do is to accelerate existing trends. So, I would tend to agree with that, and we shouldn't underestimate the power of free drinks on cruises either. So that could be something that pulls people back to the sea.